Okay, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, can you tell me about the lesson that you're going to be teaching?
I am going to introduce my text, which is called and Still We Rise.
Okay.
And I'm going to look at different parts of it. One of them would be political issues.
Okay.
The other one would be literary devices.
Okay.
The other one would be reading skills.
Okay.
Ethos, pathos, logos, different things as such. So just actually kind of just looking at those three things first.
Okay. Are you going to be like follow up question? Are you are they gonna you gonna give them background about the text?
I'm gonna
You're
introduce it.
so like this
to
is
them.
so there's not actually reading happening. You're okay.
We're just prepping them for it using their prior knowledge, prior work we've also done, and just somewhat weaving it in using a text
Okay.
novel,
Cool.
just using a novel
Okay.
versus just a versus just a source.
Okay. Cool.
It's a book.
So what are the objectives for this lesson? Like, what's your learning target?
The objective is for them to be able to identify political issues first.
Dr. Bright, please call
The
extension
first one
115.
actually
Dr. Bright,
being
please call extension 115.
affirmative action.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about it and how it applies to Oakland. To Oakland. And I guess the things that are actually happening now.
Okay. Have you just a follow up? Do they know what affirmative action is? Have you all talked about that?
We're going to prep that.
Okay, so that's what you're doing,
yes.
like before this lesson.
Right.
Got it.
Exactly.
Okay, so like front loading of the vocabulary and stuff. Okay, cool.
First, yes.
Okay, cool. That's dope.
It's a compliment coming from you.
Will this lesson be whole group, small group, individual partners? What will I see in the kids when I come in?
You will see us having dialogue. That's amongst each other about our prior sources and like how like we'll actually blend them in using our text. Like just being able to see racism and like how it actually changed. Racism then is not the racism now. Like it's different. Like it's a different way. So those are things.
The application of it.
Yes. Yes, the application.
So what it sounds like to me is that this is not necessarily a culminating, but it sounds like we've done some you've done some front loading, you've done some different work, and now you're going to take what you've done in some front loading and some groundwork, take it and apply it to a period context,
Yes.
and then take that text to text and make it a present day application is what it sounds like to me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
cool.
This is one of my brand new lessons. I'm just now getting going on it. I'm just starting on it. I'm just thinking about it.
Well, and as teachers, something that we want to be able to do is we want to be able to take what is happening,
Mm-hmm.
especially as history teachers. We want to take what is happening present day.
Mm-hmm.
How can we connect that to the text? So there's a text to self connection.
Mm-hmm.
Then we want to take a text to text connection because you said you had other sources.
Mm-hmm.
And then we want to see now how can we take that text to self, and how can we make this applicable so I can see myself in it and then I can make it applicable to what's happening now. So it sounds like you're doing a lot of that cross curricular stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
Good, good. So what specifically would you like me to focus on in this observation? What do you want from me?
Keeping me, just always making sure that like every kid is there, like they're paying close, like, attention, because like kids somewhat drift off and I'll end up losing them. So I'd like you to watch for what type of skills I'll actually use to like keep them hooked. Like what am I actually doing? Like am I moving? Like am I doing? Like am I don't know how to say it. I don't know the words for it.
Well, it sounds like you're saying to me is you want me to look at the engagement strategies. How am I keeping the students engaged
The whole time.
in the whole lesson?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. That's important. That's something that I just really want to get good at, where my kids are engaged, where they don't have a minute to even think about what's going to happen over here. It's just, we got to move. We're focused, and now the time's up. We got to go.
So it also sounds like you want to have smooth transitions. That, okay, we've done this. Now we're going to move into this next. Like you want to keep them engaged, and you want to have a smooth classroom flow of how your class is transitioning, how kids are moving through the content.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. And what kind of feedback? What other feedback would you like me to? So I'm going to be looking at engagement, how the students are engaged, I'm going to look at how you transition students. Is there any other feedback you would like me to give you?
The closeout, the exit, making sure that every kid heard or either understands. Just being able to check, because at times it's like you're able to talk and you can actually teach something, and then up at the end it's like you're kind of pushed actually for time. So it's like you kind of don't know what every kid actually knows. So something like an exit where like I can where like I'll kind of be able to say that kid understands, they understand. Like even if it's like a wiggly or stomp your feet or clap your hands, but that's important. Like I really need to learn how to make that transition.
Okay.
Which I don't know how to do very, very well. It's like I get into the lesson and I teach the lesson, but I don't necessarily get that follow-up that I need to say, they know. So it's almost like I'm just assuming based off of what's actually going on up in the classroom.
Okay. So what it sounds like you also want me to look at is your pacing.
Yes, ma'am.
How you're pacing the lesson, and if you have time at the end of the lesson for a check for understanding to make sure that your kids got it.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have included in your lesson, let me back up. In your planning, do you plan time at the end for that? Do you plan time at the end for a check for understanding? Do you plan time at the end? Okay, I'm going to stop right here, and your homework is this. Do you plan maybe 2 or 3 minutes at the end of the period for that into your lesson?
Yes, but somehow I end up rolling over with the lesson.
Okay.
So it's really about me paying attention to that time.
You paying attention to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Follow-up question. In your planning, do you plan out your lesson? Do you attach minutes to it?
Sometimes.
Okay.
So I probably should do it all the time.
I found that when I was a first year teacher and I was teaching, it helped me to not only script my lessons, but it helped me to put time on it so that I could see when I went back at the end of the day, oh, I went over at this period, or I went over here. It helped me to have time frames in my mind
Gotcha.
to know that, oh, I only have 10 minutes for this. It helps also if, because, you know, I didn't always reflect and look at my lesson,
Right.
but it helped when I was on my board. I had it on my board. Oh, I have 10 minutes for this section of this lesson, and now I'm at 7 minutes, and we're only halfway done. I got to push it, or I have to shift it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So those are things to consider when thinking about pacing.
Okay. That is a good one. I like that.
So those were all the questions that I had. Do you have any questions for me?
I'm just ready for you to come in and help me be better and custom made and tailored.
So I probably will come in. I'll give you 5 or 10 minutes to kind of get set up before I come in, and then I'll probably be there for about 25, 30 minutes to see the meat of the lesson and to see how you are closing it out.
Okay.
And then we'll meet after that.
Okay.
And we'll debrief and talk about the lesson, and I'll give you feedback.
You got it. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Great.
Thank you, Ms. Webb.
Thank you.
You're welcome.